Welcome to the Dr. Carolyn Coker-Ross Show. I'm Dr. Carolyn, and I'm a medical doctor who specializes in treating eating disorders and addictions. I've been working with individuals with binge eating disorder, compulsive overeating, food addiction, and emotional eating for over 20 years. I'm also the founder of the Anchor program, an international online non-diet coaching program for people with food and body image issues that you can access from the comfort of your own home. Please check out my books, the Emotional Eating Workbook, the Binge Eating and Compulsive Overeating Workbook, and my latest book, the Food Addiction Recovery Workbook. I'm on a mission to help individuals just like you transform your relationship with food and with your body. Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Carolyn coming to you on the Dr. Carolyn Coker-Ross Show. This is episode number 39, and today we're going to be talking about how to put an end to stress eating. So let's get started. First of all, I think everybody knows what stress is. I'm sure this time of year we're all feeling a little bit stressed out, and some more than others. Well, stress can be difficult to define, however, because it has so many causes and is different for different people. Like what may be stressful for you may not be stressful for me, for example. But you know what it feels like, and you've already probably experienced how stress can wear you down physically, emotionally, even spiritually. The bottom line is we all react to stress differently. Your perceptions and reactions to different situations are what make them stressful or not. So your perceptions are like wearing glasses with a certain color lens. If your lenses are red, then everything you see is red, whereas somebody else may have on glasses with yellow lens and everything looks yellow to them. So I hope that's a metaphor that you can use. Now, don't knock stress eating. One of the most common ways we deal with stress is by overeating, and eating can serve to push down unwanted emotions, or it can be a way of numbing ourselves when we don't want to feel what we're feeling. So eating can provide some temporary feeling of comfort and relief because it affects the dopamine reward center. You know, we get that spike of dopamine, and that helps us feel good, at least for a short period of time. So stress eating or emotional eating, it's not something we should be, always saying is bad and feeling bad about. But it is a problem if it is your only way to deal with stress. If that's your default, that no matter what's happening, you turn immediately to eating, then obviously that can cause some problems for you. Now, comfort foods are part of the body's feedback system to help you return to balance. So comfort foods can be anything from desserts to mashed potatoes to hamburgers, whatever you find comforting. And often these comfort foods have some relationship to foods that maybe we found comforting when we were younger. Now, when you're stressed, you do eat comfort foods that make you feel better for a short period because of that dopamine spike in the brain. But stress is the number one cause of emotional overeating and binging. Acute stress, somebody comes up to you and says, your money or your life, throws you right into a fight, flight, or freeze reaction. And that causes the release of adrenaline, which makes your heart race, your palms get sweaty, and you feel like you're short of breath. And that can sometimes be associated with a loss of appetite. However, if the stress continues, cortisol is released, and cortisol is associated with things like depressed mood and also stimulating appetite. It can make you feel hungry all the time, and it also makes you more likely to eat comfort foods and to gain weight. So here are 3 ways of dealing with stress eating. The first is social support, tapping into sources of social support, whether it be from family or friends or schoolmates or clergy. We can get social support in so many different ways, even sometimes in groups online that we know about. And that's really important in managing stress and helping you cope with food and weight issues. So for example, for the Anchor program, we have a Facebook group called Finding Your Anchor. And that's a place where people can go to post some concerns that they're having about stress eating and get support. So I'd be cautious about just going to any old group because we know that the internet can be kind of a cruel place. But sometimes groups like the Finding Your Anchor group on Facebook can be a place to go for social support. The second way to help you with stress eating is to avoid eating when you're tired or what I call hangry, when you're hungry and angry at the same time, hangry. So either tired or hangry. So the 12-step programs have something they call HALT, which is hungry, angry, lonely, tired. When you are hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, you're more likely to engage in behaviors that you'll regret later. So when you're stressed to the max, you may feel tired and have low energy, but don't mistake this for physical hunger. The third tip to help you deal with stress eating is to put yourself first. Prioritize your own well-being. One of the sources of stress, and I think particularly in women, is always putting other people first and not doing good self-care. We're not very good at saying no. We take on more and more things, even though we may recognize that it's going to be stressful or that we can't even do all the things we're taking on. So you've heard the saying, just say no. I always am telling my patients in the Anchor program to just say no, because saying yes is not prioritizing your own well-being. Now, okay, I know some of you are thinking, well, if I say no, it's going to hurt somebody's feelings, or they're going to think I'm being selfish, or etc. And I understand that. However, if you are unable to do something, that isn't being selfish, that's self-care. You can't do all the things you really need and want to do unless you take care of number one. So when you feel stressed, think about getting a massage. Go to Whole Foods or one of those massage schools where you can get a massage for really cheap. Massage Envy, I think, is another one. See your chiropractor, or just take a bubble bath. Take a stroll, and if it's not too cold outside, just go somewhere by yourself and take some time to reset and replenish your energy. Sometimes taking a nap is the best thing that you can do. So those are 3 tips to help you deal with stress eating. One is social support, avoid eating when you're tired, and the third is prioritize your own well-being. So I want to give you a little exercise to help you go a little deeper in understanding what I'm talking about how to end stress eating. So the first exercise is make a list of the eating patterns that you have when you're under stress. Now, some examples include, people just have the bright idea that, oh, I'm really stressed out. I've gained a lot of weight from stress eating. I'm going to go on a new diet. That is the absolute worst time to go on a new diet. Well, in my opinion, any time is the worst time to go on a diet. But particularly when you're just coming off of a lot of stress or maybe continuing to be under stress, that's the worst time to be dieting. Or another eating pattern is eating more junk food. Sometimes it's unconscious. You just are rushed. You've been shopping all day. You need to get food for the kids or for yourself. And you just decide, okay, I'm just going to go and eat junk food. If you have to eat fast food, think of places that might be a little healthier than just going through the drive-through. And another one is skipping meals and then binging later. When you skip meals, you get to the end of the day and you're ravenous. You can't wait to get home and eat. And that is the time you're most likely to binge eat. So even if you've had a bad day the day before, I recommend that you continue the next day having 3 meals a day and 1 snack. And I know you're thinking, well, that's just going to make me put on more weight, but it's absolutely the opposite, because by going back to a normal pattern of eating 3 meals a day and 1 snack, you can prevent the next binge. And it is those binges that cause you the most problems. So that's the first question to ask for yourself. Make a list of eating patterns you have when you are under stress. And then the second question is, list actions you can take when these signs indicate that you are stress eating. So, for example, you are feeling like you had a stressful day at work, and you know that that's going to be a trigger for you to stress eat or to eat junk food. So instead, call up a friend, which is your social support, and make dinner plans. Make plans to meet your friend for dinner after a stressful day. The next thing you can do is take a mid-morning protein snack like apples and nuts, or apples and peanut butter, or apples and cheese. And that will help curb your cravings later in the day. I know many people get to 3 or 4 o'clock and they just are craving something. If you have something that you like, now I'm not telling you to take apples and peanut butter if you hate peanut butter, no. But if it's apples and cheese for you, that's fine too. If you have something you enjoy eating, you're less likely to turn to junk. So we all know that stress cannot be avoided. That's the sad truth of it. We're all prone to it, and it is important, it's vital to recognize the signs of stress before it causes health problems for you, and to be aware of your personal stressors and develop strategies for managing stress. So I'm going to just offer up, for more information about ways to end stress eating, binging, and food addiction, you can go to my website at anchorprogram.com, and you're free to schedule a free consult with me to talk about your personal food and body image issues. I'm happy to do that with you. Okay, so the next program coming up is going to be talking about I need a miracle in 2020. Have you ever said that before? Maybe not for 2020, but maybe for 2018 or 17 or 13. You need a miracle. Everything you've tried hasn't worked. So we're going to be talking about what it takes to have a miracle and find peace with food and your body. I want to ask everyone to please, if you wouldn't mind, go online and leave a review for the podcast. That helps us, get our rankings up and helps more people get exposed to the information. Okay, thanks again. This is Dr. Carolyn, and I'll see you next week.